that's the thing, is just finding the opportunity to actually just finding out about something. Like, I wouldn't have even known about this race if I hadn't happened to be there. And that's, for me, is like, especially at the moment, you know, the whole International Women's Day, I think that there's so many opportunities are closed off or just aren't out there for young women to see, that we don't know that that's something that you can do. So without me happening to be in here and then finding out about this race, I wouldn't have known that it was something that I could possibly do. And I think that's really interesting. So even now I've done that and I'm like, well, what else is there? I don't know. I've been so closed off to this world of possibilities just because it's never been something advertised that a young woman would maybe ever want to do. I just don't know.
But Jasmine, that's why I wanted to talk to you, because, you know, I think you're such an inspiration to lots of, you know, young women out there. And you're so right. Unless these things get spoken about and get showcased, then you'd never get to realise what opportunities that are around the corner. How did you train for them, Jasmine? It can't have been that long before you sort of set off.
No. So I started really in January last year. That's when I started in the gym. Things I've been like sporty and enough beforehand, but really trying to build up my strength. I started in January. And then the actual, I call it the proper training, was out on the water on the boat. But I didn't get him till July. And then it's quite late. This is what COVID really annoyed me for. I was meant to get him in like the March, April time, and it was in July. And then it's do 120 hours minimum out on the water before you're even allowed to like set off. And there's all the other trainers.
And in that preparation journey, did you meet any other sort of inspirational women? Did you hear about any other women who had undertaken what you were hoping to do in the run-up to it?
I had the previous record holder that did it 10 years ago from America. So she found out that I was doing it and she was like, oh wow, this is amazing. This is everything that I wanted, and started out by saying that she has always said, if somebody's going to break my record, you've got to do it right. And this girl she's doing it for these charities, she's doing it for the right reasons, this is amazing. And so I need to contact her back and be like, wow, we've done it, we're both, how similar are we? And we actually completed it in the same time. We both took 70 days.
Oh my God, amazing. I can't get my head around 70 days at sea by myself. And I mean, were you always as calm and relaxed as you are now, and like just took every day as it came? Did you have really stressful times? I'd love to know what it was like out on the water.
Well, to start with, I think now, like, being out on 70 days on an ocean by yourself, I think, wow, I couldn't do that. 70 days, that's a long time. I was like, oh, right, I did it. That was me a week ago. It's really surreal, actually. I say every day was so different on the water, and it was so amazing as well, what you're seeing, the sunsets, the stars, the wildlife. Actually, the time went so quickly because I knew that I'm so privileged to be here in this moment and to embrace every single second. But actually, the time couldn't last long enough as well, because it's like, wow, I just want to keep taking mental pictures constantly and remembering it. I just put myself back in a moment and I'm like, that was just the best. And I knew it was at the time, but I couldn't appreciate it enough.
To do a challenge like this needs all the elements and all those positive sides to our mental health and our minds to see a challenge like this through. And it's rare to see such an amazing display of that, and through the challenge that you've just done, it should be really celebrated. To be in the peace of the ocean for so many days, I think, you really get to appreciate the world that we live in a way that you can't when life's busy as it is. So, it's been great speaking to you. But the other side to what you're doing, I think, is really important to talk about, which is inspiring loads of other young women and young girls to continue in your footsteps. And do you hope to inspire them, and do you hope to, through what you've achieved, hope to leave a legacy behind you with that regard? Inspire
is a very big word, I think, and it's almost like I feel like I'm not quite worthy of inspiring people.
I want to that ruin.
Yeah, but and I want to show people that it is possible. Just educate and say, look, you can do something if you want. I've shown you that this can be done.
Yeah.
And so there's anything else that you thought maybe you couldn't do, but I don't want you to look up at me and go, she's amazing, she's going to do this, that. No, do it yourself now. You know, that's sort of what I want, is to push and motivate people to get up and do something.
And what advice would you give any young women who wanted to follow in your footsteps?
I would say that you can do it if you set your mind to it, to ask questions, embrace everything, but also don't listen. That sounds very controversial, but the amount of people that try and tell you something, don't listen to them. You're your own person. If I'd have listened to the first guy that came into the bar when I was serving a pint and he walked in and he said, "Given up yet?" If I listened to that, that would hit me, and I wouldn't have made it here. So take it on board, just be careful what you do.
And do you think what you've achieved now would hopefully change perceptions about what is achievable for young women?
I really hope so. The amount of people that think that something can't be done, and it can be, because what I would quite like is to change the male perspective as well on the females. And so it's not just about the women believing that they can do something, because we can. Like, we kind of know that already. It's actually what everybody else sees and the image of us. And so for me to be able to change a 50-year-old man's mind that a young woman can do this, I would rather have that than telling a lady they could do it, because we already know that. We do know that deep down. It's just the external factors that say you can't. So it's a much bigger picture that I think is really important to change.
Absolutely. Well, your achievement has made massive progress in helping to change that perception. So yeah, if nothing else, it's given a huge door opener for so many other young women to see actually with that idea, with determination, with bravery and confidence. So much is really, really achievable. So a huge well done. It's been so nice chatting with you, Jasmine. Honestly, it's really great, and I hope you have a safe flight back and enjoy seeing your doggies back in Yorkshire.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's been really nice to talk to you. Such like a surprise. I was like, oh right, okay. When you get that call, it's like, oh, maybe I have done something big. Okay.
So honestly, you should be so proud, and massive congratulations. And I'd love to meet in person if we can in the future. So hopefully
that'd be awesome.